Hello and welcome to our very first lesson in this exciting ICT course. My name is Teacher Athanas, and today we begin a journey in the world of computers. Whether this is your first time learning about computers or you have already clicked the mouse before, this session is for you. This course is brought to you by Victory Services, where we believe every learner can master technology starting right from where they are. And don't worry if some things sound new or unfamiliar, we will learn together step by step. Now that we have made and settled in, let's find out what exactly we will be learning today. Get ready, it's a list full of useful everyday computer skills. Now, by the end of this session, you will know: number one, what a computer is. We will explore its simple definition and the magic behind how it works. Number two, where computers are used. Number three, the difference between a desktop and a laptop. And here, trust me, after this session, you will be able to identify them instantly. Number four, how to use a mouse. You will know which button to press, how to click, how to scroll, and even how to right-click like a pro. Number five, what a touchpad is. Yes, the one you have seen on laptops. And number six, the keyboard. You will learn the most important buttons, what they do, and how to type with confidence. Remember, every time you understand something new, your confidence grows, and that's our goal today. So let's begin our first lesson with the big question: what is a computer? Let's break it down together. Now, I have a very simple definition of a computer here for you, and please take some notes. That a computer is an electronic device that receives, processes, stores, and gives out information. So from this definition, a computer is a device that uses electricity, and it has the ability to receive, process, store, and gives you information. And to remember this, please repeat after me: receive, process, store, then gives output. Receive, process, store, gives output. Receive, process, store, gives output. That is the magic formula of computers. Now, imagine a brain that follows your instructions, works fast, remembers things, and gives you a result. That is a computer. All right, technology stars. Now we know what a computer is. Let's break down what a computer does. Now, computers have four primary functions. Hope you remember this. They receive data or information. They process the data or information received. They can store data or information, and then they give output. Now, let's go deeper. Let's start with input. You see, this is where it all begins. We give the computer data or instructions. It's like typing on a keyboard or clicking with a mouse. And then the computer processes the information. This stage is like thinking. The computer works in the background to understand and react on what we gave it. This part is like its brain doing calculations. And next we have storage. The computer stores information so it can be used later. Files, maybe photos, music, and documents, they are all stored inside, waiting for us to open them again. And finally, we have output. This is when the computer gives us back the results. The screen may show it, or we can hear the sound, or we can get the data printed on papers. This is output. It's the final result. Now, for example, when you type a sentence and then print it on paper, that is input, process, storage, and output in action. And now that we know what a computer does, let's look at the two most common types of computers, a desktop and a laptop. They come in different shapes and sizes, but all of them are doing the same job behind the scenes. Let's explore. Let us begin with the desktop computer to the left here. The desktop computer has separate parts: a screen called a monitor, a CPU, that's the big brain of the computer, the keyboard to type, and the mouse to click and move things around. And this right here, it's a laptop. Unlike a desktop, everything in a laptop is packed into one. You see, the screen is built in, the keyboard is right here, and even its mouse is built in. We call it a touchpad. And a laptop can fold like a book, so it's easy to carry around. It's portable. That's why many teachers and students and travelers use laptops. And have you ever used a laptop or a desktop before? Which one do you see at school or at home? Think about it. Now, to really use a computer, you need to control it. And what do we use to control the computer? Let's talk about the mouse, one of your most important input devices. Now, let's see parts of a mouse and their functions. Now, by definition, we can see the definition of a mouse down here, that a mouse is an input device used to move the pointer and give commands to the computer. So a mouse is an input device. That means it helps us give commands to the computer. It controls something called a pointer. That small arrow you see moving on your computer screen. Now, let's see how the mouse looks like. Now, here's how the mouse looks like. To the left here, we have a button called a left button. To the right here, we have another button called a right button. And at the middle, in between the left button and the right button, we have something called a rotating wheel. Now, let's see some little descriptions to the right here. The left button is used to select, number 1, click, number 2, and drag objects, number 3. This button is the one we use the most, and it's for clicking, selecting, or dragging things on screen. And don't worry, we are going to see everything in live demonstration. Another button is this one. Right button opens a menu. This button opens a menu with more options. So this button opens a list of extra choices, and it's like raising your hand to ask the computer, what else can I do with this? You see, you'll get me soon. Another one is this rotating wheel. This wheel helps you move up and down a page. For example, when you are reading something like a book, or maybe you are browsing online, this wheel helps you move up and down the page smoothly, like scrolling through a book, you see. And if you are using a laptop, you might not even have a mouse. So let's talk about the touchpad. What is the touchpad? By definition, a touchpad is a flat surface on a laptop that lets you move the pointer using your finger. Please take some notes. This is very important definition to remember, that a touchpad is a flat surface on a laptop, not a desktop, on a laptop that lets you move the pointer using your finger. And please remember this, the pointer is that small arrow you see moving on your computer screen. Now let's see how a touchpad looks like. This is how a touchpad looks like. We have this zone here, it's called the touch area. We have another two buttons down here, left click zone and right click zone. These are the two buttons like the ones we saw on the mouse. And let's see some functions of touchpad. The first function of a touchpad found on the laptop is that we use the touchpad to move the pointer. You see, when you slide one finger across this touch area of the laptop's touchpad, the arrow on your screen moves. That's called moving the pointer. The second function of the touchpad is we use the touchpad to click. You will get me soon. To click something on the laptop's touchpad, you just tap once on the touchpad. Only once on the touchpad area, this area up here. It's like giving the computer a small yes. Another function is this. We use the touchpad to right click. How do you right click? You tap with two fingers. If you tap with two fingers on this touch area, a special menu appears with extra options. This is like asking the computer, what else can I do here? Hope you remember. Another function is we use the touchpad to scroll. How do you scroll? You slide with two fingers up and down in this touch area. To move up and down a page, just slide with two fingers in this touch area vertically, not horizontally, vertically. It works like a magic when you are reading or browsing online. Alright then, we have seen both the mouse and the touchpad, the two main ways to control the pointer. And now, let's watch them in real action. I will show you how I use them in real life so you can see exactly how each part works. Now, on the left side, you can see my hand holding the mouse. And on the right side, you can see what's happening on screen. And it's now time to move from talking about computers to actually watching how they behave in real world. Let me show you how to open something. Now I will use my mouse to move the pointer to this folder on my desktop. It's called a demo folder. Now watch closely as I double click. That means pressing the left button twice quickly. And boom, my folder opens. You see? Let me close it and repeat all over. I'll use my mouse to move the pointer to my folder. And then I double click it. And my folder opens. That's how we open folders or files using the mouse. Now, let's try a different action. Here inside the demo folder, we can see smaller folders, demo folder 1, demo folder 2, 3, 4, and so on. I will now do a left click, just one single click on demo folder 5. That selects the folder. You can see the folder is selected. You see? Let me start all over. Close my folder, use my mouse to move to my demo folder, double click the folder, and then single click on demo folder 5, and my demo folder 5 is selected. Now from double click to open, single click to select, let's now go for the exciting one. Right click. I'm going to right click on demo folder 10. This is where I have placed a standard 5 science textbook. And what happens when I right click? A list of options pops up. And from these options, you can choose open to open the folder, send to send the folder, cut to cut the folder, copy to copy the folder, delete to delete the folder, rename, and so on. From these options, I will choose open to open the folder. Single click, and now demo folder 10 is open. And inside the folder, we have this textbook that we are going to open it and use the rotating wheel to scroll through the book. Now let me double click to open the book, and my book is now open. You see? Now to scroll through the book, I will use this rotating wheel at the middle of my mouse to scroll through the book. Now watch as I'm scrolling. You see, I can now scroll through the book by using this rotating wheel. I can scroll up and down the book as I want. You see, this is how we scroll through a textbook or anything with many pages. It's very simple. You can do it too. Now, let's switch gears and meet the touchpad. Alright, we have seen how to use the mouse to open, click, right click and scroll. But what if you are using a laptop and you don't have a mouse connected? Here's the good news. You still have something just as powerful right under your fingertips. It's called a touchpad. And the touchpad is this flat area right here, just below the keyboard. Now, yours might look a bit different. Some touchpads have physical buttons, some don't. But almost all of them work the same way. Mine looks like this. As you can see, it has two invisible buttons. At the left here I have a left button, and at the right here I have a right button. Now let's begin with the simplest action, just moving the pointer on screen. I will place my finger on the touchpad and gently slide it around like this. Now as I move, look at the screen. The pointer follows smoothly. It's just like moving the mouse. You see? Put my finger and slide it on the touch area of my touchpad. I'm moving the pointer. It's that simple. Now, let's try to open something. Just like a double click on the mouse, we do a double tap on the touchpad, 2 quick taps with 1 finger. I will do that now on this folder named demo folder 1, 2, and it opens. What I did is a double tap on the touchpad and my folder is now open. You can see my folder is now open right here. Now that we are inside this folder, let's try selecting something. I'll tap once on this demo folder 5. I'll tap only once like this, and boom, my demo folder 5 is selected. You see? So single tap works the same as a left click on the mouse. Hope you remember. Next action, let's right click using the touchpad. Instead of using a separate button, we just tap with 2 fingers at the same time. I will do that on demo folder 10 right here. Tap with 2 fingers and you can see the right click menu appears just like with the mouse. Now I will click open to go inside the folder where we placed the standard 5 science textbook. Our folder is open. Inside the folder we have this textbook, and let me double tap on the textbook to open it. And my book is now open. Now I will place my 2 fingers together on the touchpad like this, and slide them up and down slowly. You see? Watch how the page moves on screen. Now we are scrolling. You remember about scrolling? Now we are scrolling. We use 2 fingers on the touchpad to scroll through a book like this. You see? 1 finger won't do it like this, but 2 fingers will do it. It's that simple. And this is perfect when you are reading notes or scrolling through a textbook like this. You see? It's very simple. Now, let me close the book and we begin all over. And the folder, let me close the folder. Now, I will use 1 finger to move the pointer to my demo folder. I'll double click the demo folder. My demo folder is open. I'll single tap with 1 finger on the touch area to select demo folder 5. Demo folder 5 is selected, but I will use 2 fingers to right click on demo folder 10 like that. I'll choose open, and then demo folder 10 is open. I'll double tap on our textbook to open it. Our textbook is now open, and now we can scroll through the book by using 2 fingers. We slide 2 fingers on the touch area for our touchpad like this to scroll through our textbook. It's that simple. You see? And if this feels new, don't panic. Even the best computer users started exactly where you are, learning how to tap and scroll. And I'm not just showing this for fun. I'm doing this because I believe you deserve to have all the digital skills you need to succeed in school, in business, and in life. Technology is not just for experts anymore. It's for you, your future, your goals, and your growth. So, practice, pause, rewind if you need to. Now it's your turn. Can you try these steps using any laptop you can find? Start by double tapping on a folder, then try a single tap, right click with 2 fingers, and then scroll up and down. And remember, I'm rooting for you all the way. So now, we are done with both the mouse and the touchpad, the 2 amazing tools to control the computer. Now it's time to meet the next important part. The one that helps you write your name, give instructions, and bring your ideas to life. Now, let's see the keyboard. Now, let's begin with a definition of a keyboard. Now, down here we can see a keyboard is an input device used to type letters, numbers, and commands to a computer. So, a keyboard is an input device and we use it to type letters, numbers, and to give commands to a computer. Very simple, right? But very powerful. Just as a pen helps you write on paper, the keyboard helps you write into the computer. Now, let's have a look on the keyboard. Now, if we look closely to our keyboard right here, these are your main typing keys, the alphabet keys. If you want to type your name on a computer, you will use these keys. Right above the letters, we have the numbers. You see? Anytime you want to type 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, you will probably use these number keys. And up here at the top, these are function keys. They range from F1 to F12. You see? They are used for shortcuts, and don't worry, we don't need to master this today. And all the way down here, we have these arrow keys that will help you move the cursor. They are like your keyboard remote control. You can move up, down, left, or right using these arrows. Now to the right here is the number pad, and it's perfect for typing lots of numbers fast. You can see numbers from 0 to 9 here. Now, even if the keyboard looks full of buttons, don't worry. We are not learning everything at once. We are learning what matters most first. The more you practice, the faster your fingers will learn. So the keyboard is not just for typing words, it's how you command the computer. You are about to unlock a tool that teachers and students and writers and bankers and gamers and even business leaders use daily. Let's now zoom in into the buttons you will be using almost every day. Buttons that can open, delete, start new lines, and more. They are simple but powerful. Ready? Let's go. Now, let us see the keyboard's most important keys. These are the ones that you will press almost every day. I'll explain them one by one in the order they appear. Now, let us begin with the caps lock. This key turns all letters into capital letters. Just tap once to turn it on and again to turn it off. Very useful when typing with your keyboard and you want to make something look good. Now, after typing, we need to separate the words. That's where the space bar comes in. It adds a space between your words. It adds a space between your words just like in your exercise book. It is the long key at the bottom of your keyboard. Now, after adding a space, what if you want to move to the next line? You will use the Enter key. This key moves you to the next line or tells the computer, go. You will use this a lot when typing something with your keyboard. Now, what if you want to type just one capital letter or a symbol like a bracket or an exclamation mark? Here, you will use the Shift key. Hold it down and press another key to type capital letters or special characters. It's like a helper key. It doesn't work alone, but gives extra power when used with others. And don't worry if this sounds confusing. We are going to see each one in a live demonstration step by step. Once you watch it happening, it will make perfect sense. And what happens if you make a mistake while typing? That's where the backspace saves the day. It erases the letter behind your cursor. If you press the wrong key, just hit backspace to correct it. But what if the mistake is in front of the cursor? You will use the Delete key for that. It erases what's in front of the cursor, not behind. Both backspace and delete keys are useful when editing. Now, let's talk about some power keys that will help you to work faster. Let's see the Control key. CTRL, short form of control. This key is used with other keys to do fast actions like copy, paste, or undo. And don't worry, you'll get this in the next sessions. And finally, let's look at the key that moves you forward, the Tab key. The Tab key is used to jump to the next section or to add an indent at the beginning of a paragraph. You'll often use it when filling forms or writing some documents with your keyboard. You see? And mastering these keys will unlock real control, whether you are typing a story or editing a document or even coding one day. These are the keys to your digital confidence. And now that we know their names and what they do, let's see them in action in our live demo. That's where the real fun begins. Alright, let's now bring these keys to life. You are about to see how we actually use these keys when typing. And watch careful. We will type two different sentences using this keyboard you are seeing right here. And each sentence will help us use different keys we just learned. And down here, I have an open document with our two sentences that we are going to retype them again. And before we start typing these sentences, let me quickly show you some important keys that we are going to use. Now, watch here on our keyboard. We are going to use this key here, the tab key, caps lock key, shift key, the control key, the space bar, the longest key at the bottom of our keyboard. We have this one here, the enter key, the backspace. We have this delete key. And we are going to use the combination of all of these alphabet letters to get our job done. Let's now start typing our two sentences. Now, if you watch carefully here, our first sentence is this one. My name is Athanas. Now, M here is capital and A here is capital. So, if I start here, I'll press and hold the shift key plus M together to get the capital letter M, and then Y. And between the word my and name, we have a space here. You see? So I will press the space bar to add a space between the two words, and then name, a space again, is, a space again, and A is capital. So I will press and hold shift with A together to get the capital letter A, and then finish typing my name, and then full stop. And because I want a new line, I will press the enter key to get it. You see? It's that simple. And the second sentence, I want to add an indent just before the sentence, so I'll press the tab key. You see? And quickly start typing my second sentence. I'll hold the shift key to get the capital letter I, space, love, space, learning, space, and then the letters ICT are all in capital. So let me turn on my caps lock key here so that I can get all capital letters ICT and then full stop. You see, it's that easy. Now let me press the enter key again to go to the new line, and I want to retype my first sentence. My name is Athanas. Let me type it again here quickly. Now, if you watch careful what I just wrote here, there is something wrong, right? It's like I was writing Kichaga because I'm from that land. So let's fix it. Let's begin with this word here. Instead of writing name, I wrote name. So I have to delete this letter N here and replace it with the correct letter M. So I will place my cursor just in front of the letter that I want to erase, like this, and then I will hit the backspace, because backspace deletes characters at the left of the cursor. So when I press backspace, letter N will be gone, and I will replace it with letter M, the correct one. Another thing is this Z here. You see, it should be S. So let me put my cursor just between I and Z. And which character should I press to delete Z, which is in front of the cursor? If you can remember, I should hit delete, because delete erases characters which are in front or to the right of the cursor. So let me press delete to take away the Z and then replace it with the correct one, which is S. Another thing wrong here is this letter A. It should be capital. So my cursor is in front of the letter that I want to delete. I'll press backspace and then hold the shift key and then A to get the capital letter. And finally, let's get rid of this Z here. Let me place the cursor between A and Z and then hit the delete key to get rid of Z and then replace it with letter S. You see? Very simple. Now, let's use a control key. Let's imagine I want to copy this sentence. Now I will highlight the whole sentence like this, and then I will hold Control plus C together to copy the sentence, and then let us paste it here by holding the Control again and then V. You see, I just copied my sentence and pasted it here by using the combination of Control, C and V together. And don't worry, we are going to learn about these shortcuts in the next sessions. Now that's how we use these keys in real life. Don't worry if you can't remember everything now. We will keep practicing in the next sessions. Now that we have typed a few things, let's see something interesting. Where do people actually use computers in real world? Now, computers are not just for schools or games, they are everywhere. Let's look at some few places where people use computers every day. Hospitals. Doctors and nurses use computers for record keeping, checking patients, and even scanning results. Schools. Like us, we use them for typing, managing exam results, learning new things, and practicing ICT. Banks. Ever seen someone using a computer at the bank? That's for transferring money, checking accounts, and printing statements. Offices. In offices, people use computers to write emails, type records, or even design posters. Airports. Computers help in booking tickets and checking passengers during security. Homes. At home, we use them for learning, playing games, and even watching videos. Shops. In shops, computers are used to sell goods and record purchases. You see? Now, let's think together. Look around your home or community. Can you name one place where someone uses a computer every day? Yeah, think about that. Now, let's go over what we have learned in this whole session. These are your golden rules, the things that you can carry with you as you grow in ICT. The first thing, a computer is an electronic device that receives, processes, stores, and gives information. Another thing, a mouse helps you click, select, and scroll. It's your digital hand. The next one, a keyboard lets you type letters, numbers, and commands, just like you are writing on a paper, but with extra powers. And remember, desktops have separate parts, but laptops combine everything in one. Lastly, practice is your best friend. Practice using the caps lock, enter, backspace, delete, spacebar, control, tab, and shift keys. And don't worry if it feels tricky now, it gets easier every time you try. And now you deserve something special because you have made it to the end of your first ICT journey. Well done. You have just completed your first ICT session. That's a huge step. You now understand the basics of computers, a mouse, and keyboard. But this is not the end. It's only the beginning. Imagine how far you can go from here. Writing, creating, learning, solving, and exploring with technology. Every time you practice, you are unlocking new possibilities. Each click, every key you press is a step forward, becoming someone who can use ICT in school, at home, and even in your future career. Keep practicing, keep growing. ICT is your future, and you are not alone. Victory Services Education is walking right beside you. See you in the next session. Congratulations!